Welcome to the LGBTQ Review, where we review queer content. I am James and this is Beth.
This week we're going to be looking at the Miseducation of Cameron Post.
All that's left is your signature, and we're good to go. Now you're officially a disciple of God's promise. Welcome.
Fuck.
Welcome to God's promise.
And you are at an age where you are especially vulnerable to evil.
Change will come through God, but within me.
We're gonna spend our time together investigating what led you here.
This is the 2008 film directed by Desiree Akhavan, who we love. She's done Appropriate Behaviour and the TV show on Channel 4, The Bisexual, that we recommended the other day.
Was her first foray into acting or writing or directing the web series that she did?
I think so, yeah.
Well, that's great because it's really, really good.
Okay, so I think the first and most important thing to say about this is that when I went to see it, I didn't know what it was at all. I just know that I really like Desiree Akhavan's work. It became apparent when I was watching it that I was dressed exactly like the main character is dressed throughout the entire film. I must have just looked like a massive fan of this movie that has just come out. I guess soft butch from the 90s is sort of my look. Denim jackets. So it's based on the 2012 novel of the same name by Emily Danforth. I've read that. It's good. It's like a slow start, but it's worth it. I like this film a lot.
How many times have you seen it?
I've seen it the whole way through once.
We'll leave it there, shall we?
Yeah.
The film follows Cameron on the night of a prom, maybe not the prom. She and her friend have gone with some boys. Then as the night unravels, then she kisses her friend. Her boyfriend finds them kissing. Then it's like a big, oh my god, what's that going on?
I mean, they're not kissing. It's a sex scene.
And then it cuts to later on, she's being driven by her foster parents to... Oh, is it her aunt?
It's her aunt.
Yeah, sorry.
Because her parents are dead.
Yes. She drives her to this camp, which is
It's called God's Promise.
It's called God's Promise. It really feels like you want to do the recap, but I'll keep going. It's a gay conversion camp.
People don't describe it like this, but I think it's important to say it's a Christian gay conversion camp.
That is important, yeah. She goes there, she has to do a waiver to be accepted, and she's accepted into the camp. She doesn't really have a choice.
It's the 90s, it's Southern America, yeah.
In the woods, she meets Adam and Jane Fonda there. They do some adventures.
Okay. So the beginning bit of the film is sort of a montagey first act setup of her life before and how she gets to God's Promise. And then there are flashbacks throughout her time there. They shot it in 23 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and during
impressive.
those 23 days, Trump was elected. Yeah. Must have been awful.
A scene that was very, very good, that's near the start, is the first group session that they have at the camp.
Yeah.
Which I really, really like. And it sets up kind of the dynamics of the character Lydia and how she kind of lets the kids not bully each other, that's not the word I'd use, but she lets them kind of emotionally
like wear away at each other.
Yeah, and there's like this kind of manipulation and like warping and like breaking down of like their psyche and what they think and how they like relate to each other. It's really, really good. And I wish that scene was longer. She does a lot with not doing much. Like she's like there but removes herself from the scene in a way that is like really great as like an antagonist.
Well, she's a fantastic actor. She played Elizabeth Bennett in the Colin Firth Pride and Prejudice.
That role could easily be just a villain, ridiculous, shouting over the top thing, and it's like such a better way to show how someone's like psyche can be broken down and like, you be able to question like yourself in that time and that age where like you're not really sure about yourself, you like really are unsure about who you are. It's those kind of people who like can eat away at you. That's like a really realistic portrayal of that, rather than this kind of like shaking or like shouting and all this stuff that you could do instead.
I watched an interview with the director in which she said that was like a conscious choice that they made to make that character and her brother people. You go away sympathising with them as well. because you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
I mean, like,
everybody's messed up.
Yeah,
and
like-
also it makes it a universal experience, because gay conversion therapy is, I mean, it's not as niche as people think it is, but it's fairly niche. The universal experience of being a teenager and realising that the adults around you don't know what they're doing that happens to everyone.
I think the best scene actually in the whole film is when Cam, she like grabs the phone and goes under the desk and she
Yeah.
rings her aunt, and then she like breaks down and her aunt's like says she can't come home, she like loves her and stuff. That's such a great scene for many reasons, like just like two really good performances. One like you don't even see, like it's just a voice. Also like, well, the aunt is not a villain either. And also I wasn't sure up until that point about the actor. Like I didn't think.
Really? That's interesting.
I
That was something
didn't-
that I wanted to talk to you about, yeah.
Like up until then I was like, yeah, there's a great film around her. And then that scene happens, like, oh yeah, actually no, I get why she was cast in that.
Chloe Grace Moretz plays Cameron, and I really like her performance. I think it's really, really good. I think she carries a lot of what happens just with her face. Like, there are a lot of shots without dialogue,
Yeah.
and I think they're all really good. I think it's a really powerful performance. She's like completely believable as well. She's got swagger is not a word I'd like to use, but it looks like I just have.
The film does show why you may, in that situation, question yourself. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just, isn't this ridiculous that people get sent to these places and it doesn't work? Like, there's, when they're talking about the person that Cameron loves, like, there's aspects of her that she really loves, and she admires that in that person, and she's trying to somehow get those parts of her.
Yeah.
And that's why she, like, wants to be with her physically. It's not just like, oh, you're, like, a sinner or anything.
I wonder if there'll ever be like an English film about it.
Are there gay
Probably
conversion camps in the UK?
not. You can get conversion therapy, but also like the churches are still like that. Like the churches in were like that. There was a big element of like pray the gay away. So, and they're picking on vulnerable people as well. They're picking on like teenagers that have gone away from home for maybe like the first time, and yeah, telling them they're wrong. Who they are is wrong. I'm fine, but my voice has gone a bit weird.
There's a scene that I don't like. I thought it was too much. It's the dancing and singing scene in the kitchen.
Oh, I liked it. I thought the acting was very good from everyone. Sasha Lane plays Jane Fonda, very good. And Forrest Goodluck plays Adam. I thought he was very good. James,
Beth.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The sex scenes are just so good. And I watched an interview this morning with Desiree Akhavan. She was like, oh, so many young women have come up to me and talked about the sex scenes, like, oh, they're so different from everything else we've seen. Oh God, so relieved that I'm not just the weirdo that notices the sex scenes and everything.
No,
because
like,
I'm
they
always
were
going on
great,
about them. Because in the bisexual they're great, in inappropriate behaviour they're great, in this they're fantastic.
Yeah, she's got a niche for doing good sex scenes.
It's because it's from a woman's point of view, and we never see that. You watching these sex scenes, are they noticeably different?
Yeah,
to you?
no, they are definitely noticeable because they're like...
Right, well, speak up then. Every time I say it, you just look at me like I'm mental.
They are the most realistic sex scenes I have seen on film.
Yeah.
Or I don't even know if that's realistic, but they're the most relatable. And
Yeah, right.
the one, it's not all like cuts and stuff, it's pretty much in one take. It's always a bit awkward.
But also sexy.
Also sexy, occasionally funny. It's just everything that it actually is. And they don't start the scene with sex and they don't end the scene with sex.
Yeah.
There's the weird bits before and after. You can understand that's all in that one scene. And that is really, really important, I think. It's not just here's a hot sex scene and then we're cutting to the next day and over breakfast. So like, that was kind of weird. Or do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
narratively, it's important and it fits in there. Why is anyone else doing it not like this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
It's because they're not letting women do it.
yeah.
Young women. Something that I think definitely links with that is that this film received the Grand Jury Prize at the Sundance Film Festival, and then it was the first film in 25 years to win that award and not instantly get a distributor. So it took 2 months for them to find a distributor, because the film industry doesn't want films about female sexuality, of like gay or straight.
It's so weird because like it's not even we don't enjoy this. It's like the man's view of thinking about what
We
other
wanna see
people
it,
want.
but we want to like see it the way we want to see it.
Yeah.
So they partnered with the Trevor Project and GLAAD and met some survivors of Christian conversion therapy in the US before they made it.
What did they get out of that? Did they say?
Mainly that the people, they knew who they were, and then they went there, and then they questioned themselves, and like they wanted to get better. The ending. Love a graduate end.
It was a great shot.
It is a good shot.
I would say 4.7 confiscated mixtapes.
I will give it 5 VHS recordings of Basic Instinct.
Let us know what you thought in the comments below, and like and subscribe. Let us know your suggestions.
And you can follow us on Twitter at LGBTQ_review.
Bye.
Bye.